let's begin.
This is insane.
It's an excursion into the odd and into the very, very different.
Quality, quantity, and variety.
ROCKFLUX.
Let's get this show on the road.
Good morning.
After he's stalked, we must get rid of him immediately.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale.
Thank you, folks.
Okay.
Thanks for being here, everybody, one and all, for Tony Caravan Live. I found that photo I'm using, in a video clip from Glamour Days, and I have a link below to the YouTube channel. It's called Glamour Days, and they have these pictures, colorized pictures of taken from the past. And this is Odessa Beach, Ukraine, in the 1920s. I thought I was apropos, but this video is not about Ukraine, as it says up there. Actually, what this video is really about is this morning's tragedy here. That's rainwater. I don't think it's anything else. But this is a close-up. I drained this just before I came down. Now, I have no idea if this show runs the normal length, if that's going to fill up and overflow. And if it were to overflow, it would overflow into my bedroom. This is the attic, and there's a roof leak there. And you could see these various solvents, tapes, because I've been trying to repair this all along the way, but it's been raining and doing things so much that haven't had the time to do full scale, like scrape everything down, start from scratch, or blah, blah, blah. But the mystery of this is you can see like the container in the front and the container to the left at front is basically empty, and you can almost see a little bit of another one I had there. So everything seems to be going into this thing now, and it's the size of a cat litter box, but the volume of rain is insane right now. I mean, we're talking about, it's supposed to, let's see if it switches over. See, we had ice overnight, but the temperature now has for some reason risen. Oh, man. So it's supposed to rain for the next couple hours. Rain, not showers. So I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know why I do this show. You know what I mean? So that's what I have to do. So I have a handheld like pump that you would pump gas out of a, if you ran out of gas, it's like a handheld pump, battery out pump that I could pump that out into a bucket and then throw it out the window like some medieval thing, attic window. But I just have to hope that it doesn't overflow while I'm sitting here talking to you. That's the kind of stuff I have to deal with. It's crazy. It's neat, though, looking at some of these old photos. And I do recommend you go follow that link, Glamour Days, because I kind of took a snippet of one of their videos and put it on there. And I don't like normally to do that, but I'm giving them credit. I didn't see anything, do not use this. And Lord knows where they got it. And I don't think anything could be copyrighted from that long ago. It's a home movie. I guess it's an old Russian home movie. Or Ukrainian home movie. But anyway, like I say, the show's not going to be about that. I can't deal with that. And I don't think you should either. Yesterday, as I was trying, this is fresh, just opened Kona blend coffee, and it doesn't taste a whole heck of a lot better than yesterday's coffee, to be honest with you. So I'm going to have to maybe clean that coffee machine out. I don't know. Everything looks clean. I clean the container. I put a new filter in every day. So unless there's something down in the base of it, like I keep saying, hopefully a bug didn't get in there. You know, I got this book. I can't say that I've read it yet, but this is, I don't know if you can see her. I don't know why she's not showing up well. This is Beth McDougall, MD. She's got a new book. It just came out, Your Pristine Blueprint. And if you see The Missing Key to Longevity, Reversing Disease, and Radically Transforming Your Life. So you could, I'm hoping that I could find some answers in this thing. It's fairly thick. It's like thicker than my books. It's on Amazon for like $18 or something. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing that, I guess. I'm going to try to read through that. I hope I can find some answers. I've been taking the Chanca Piedro with some of this other stuff, and I've been feeling a little bit better. I don't know if it was, I had some peanut butter. There's been some studies that peanut butter has helped women in some UK study or something weird like that. But the problem is, I've been constipated now. This is yesterday, all day yesterday. So I'm coming into the second day. What kind of show is this that a guy's talking about that?
You're listening to Tony Caravan Live.
It's frickin' YouTube, man. This video is not about Ukraine. This is Tony Caravan Live. We're going to touch on some topics and some of the absurdities going on. And mainly, like I put in the thing, follow your bliss. I mean, that's really what the show is. And I kept my greatsolarstuff.com little link up there, the sun in the sky. You could still see the trucks and cars go by. This morning, when I get up around midnight, when I first went up to the attic to see how bad it was, and I looked out the attic, the upper window down to the streets. The streets were like all slushed and iced over. But as you may or may not be able to see from this photo, I can see it looking at it. There's kind of just a reflection. It's wet. So what happened is the temperature got above freezing and all that. So it's like, it's fine to drive, right now. So somebody going to work. But they're saying that later today we're going to get snow, winter, temperature's going to drop, and the winds are going to go as high as 40 miles per hour. That's like basically low tropical storm. And I noticed on the side of my house, someone had put a few roof tiles next to my house. So they must have blown off in the last wind, which wasn't 40. They were 20s, 20 miles per hour. So I don't know, man. I'm like losing my roof. I don't know. It almost sounds to me, maybe it's an insurance claim. But the thing about insurance companies they're scammers like everybody else. Even if they were to say, oh, okay, yeah, the wind did that, so you're covered. The question then is, are they going to raise my insurance to pay the bill? See, insurance companies, that's why they either drop certain people, like drivers, in the case of drivers who get in a big accident, they'll drop them because they'll say, the person's too much of a risk. They live in this, they have these guys, it's all probability and statistics. And so maybe they'll look at this and they'll say, we're going to drop your insurance or raise your insurance to pay the roof off. And so they'll double or triple my insurance, and then it defeats the whole purpose of living here. So, and then I don't know if they would cover that anyway. So that's why I've been hesitant on that front. Because the cost of living over the long haul is the reason I moved here. I didn't move here to be in a situation where I was like scraping to get by, you see. So, yeah, that's kind of where I stand. And yes, so I started this off by saying, so I was looking on YouTube before I went to bed last night, which I went to bed early. But it was just all this Ukraine stuff. And, you know, and Russia, you know, Putin, like this, like as if, look, the guy is, you know, he is what he is, but it's like, you know, he's no Mao Zedong or Stalin, you know what I mean? It's, you know, and this whole idea, it's America's bloodlust with war. It's just none of our business. So I'm just going to say it one last time. I actually watched Biden's speech, and most people, they didn't read through, because I was like listening on every word, because it wasn't written by him. It was written by his, you know, and if you listen to it very carefully, it's just this anti-Russian thing but he basically admitted they can't do anything because the Ukraine is not a part of NATO or the EU. And so, and the geopolitics of Eastern Ukraine is something that's a total unknown to 99.9+% of people who live in the U.S. They simply don't understand that. If you look at yesterday's show, that map, you can see the part in question that the you know, that's going to become 2 independent states or satellite states of Russia. And they've got this idea he's trying to rebuild the Soviet Union. As if the U.S. is, and it's an empire, as if the U.S. hasn't been an empire for, 60 some years, right? Hasn't been building an empire. Isn't that what Eisenhower warned about? I mean, if you really want to understand what this is about, you just listen to this.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
So the military contractors and all of the puppets, you know, the marionettes that they control in the media and, you know, Washington establishments, basically need a revenue source, and that's why they're behind it. The media's behind it because Americans have this bloodlust for war. So they're going to stay tuned during the commercials. Right? And these cable channels that were on the verge of collapsing are going to this is better than Trump. You see? And it draws attention away from the economy and that this country's in bad shape. Our infrastructure is on the verge of collapse. Inflation is real inflation is 25-33%, which is an unbelievable number. Crime is like out the roof, right? The cities are like free fall murder capital, murder, rape, and arson, theft capitals. And, you know, and this corruption is running rampant. And meanwhile, people are sitting around watching TV because they're marionettes of the marionettes. And they're clueless that the whole thing is hypocrisy for profit. So get your great solar stuff. Get yourself a little solar panel and a little power backup. Because they're not paying any attention to the grid now. We're no longer energy independent, right? I mean, they've been warning. I had the NOAA radio on here, and they're saying that, you know, be prepared for power outages today and tomorrow in the mid-Atlantic region where I am. So, you know, and I have a gas heater but it's a gas heater that the water pump pumps the hot water that the gas heats through the radiators. So if the power goes out, it doesn't matter. The gas heater doesn't work. So I basically freeze to death. Or freeze, stand there until hope that the power gets back on within a reasonable amount of time. That I don't have to wear 16 layers in a winter coat in the house. That's the thing. So, put your priorities first. And this whole idea of reacting instead of being proactive. I showed you yesterday, I've been putting this stuff on Great Solar Stuff for years now. It's like it's not like I don't own, the Great Solar Stuff's my website, but I'm, selling stuff that I find through Amazon and whatnot. And you can get the links through there. I take you direct to the products that I've tested or bought. In other words, I'm not telling you to get, I don't know why that came up. I'm not telling you to get a Jackery. That's what this thing is that powers my light. I show you this all the time, and had the Christmas lights around the Christmas season and stuff, and that other light in the back. But I'm testing it every day live on this show, and I haven't charged that thing in months. Really holds a charge. And you could get like a foldable solar panel to charge that, or you could charge it in your house when you do have power, and it's chargeable from your car. So, people, the simplest things, you ought to be prepared because the government doesn't care. This whole Ukraine thing is just one big diversion from inflation and crime and the fact that the people in power have been so greedy that they neglected this country, and they literally just have taken, and all we're left was a shell of the former United States. And so Build Back Better is an impossibility. It would take decades and decades. And as we've seen, I said this yesterday, from these looters, opportunistic looters and the smash and grabbers, you don't have decades to build back better. The moment, the fit hits the shan, these people are out there and it's like gone, man. It's Mad Max world within a couple of weeks, right? Month at the outset, they'll be into the suburbs. And then once everything's gone, it'll be a dystopian nightmare like you've seen in so many frickin' movies. Wake up. That's it. That's reality. That's it. That's where we're headed. And so they think these guys, they just keep, it's called kicking the can, but they're backed up so much against the corner now that they've created this thing. And then there's been this news that's come out where Biden's being more exposed about some of his dirty deeds. And the economy's all messed up. And they realize that they got caught in a lie about this, this climate thing. And they don't know what the fuck to do, so they're thinking that, we'll have a war. But it's not our war. It's not our fight. And he was trying to say, we will protect them. It's like, you don't understand. If the U.S. steps foot in there, we have no business being there. The Biden family does because they got tens of millions of dollars. And they're trying to pay back, the president of the country called in his marker and said, hey, man, I gave you and your son a lot of money. You better send over some stuff. And the military-industrial complex is all for it. So, yeah, they're sending arms and all this stuff all along NATO, and they're shoring up NATO and selling them more weapons and stuff like that. But the point of the matter is everybody's missing the point. Russia has no intention of attacking Europe. They just want to be their own country, and they don't want NATO encroaching in on them. And I don't know why people don't get that. Like they think, you're defending. Forget about the purse. Remember, it's a chessboard. All right? It's socioeconomic geopolitics. That's what you have to remember in this world. And basically, Russia is defending itself. Trust me. Because the U.S. and NATO have proven to be very aggressive. I mean, look what we just did in the Middle East. What were we doing even in Afghan for 20 years? Right? Right? Why did we invade Iraq and destroy that country? And some 600,000 people were killed who lived there. And they never even had weapons of mass destruction or had anything to do with 9/11. And there's probably people who've grown up right now who don't know that. Like, because that was never, the media, like, they just never really stress that. Right? Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11 whatsoever. So why did we kill 600,000 people in there, take over that country, and occupy it for 15 years or whatever we did? We laid waste to Syria. I mean, we got rid of ISIS, but I mean, Obama was the guy who brought that out. But, you know, how many places have we lobbed missiles? In Afghanistan, we were there for 20 years. And what's his face? The terrorist was living in Pakistan in a second floor of some house somewhere all the time. As if our military with these incredible satellites and intelligence, they say, you know, they didn't know he was there. Yeah, right. If they didn't know he was there, then they don't. Then it's Three Stooges Pentagon. You know, no, they knew. They know where he's at. Knew where he was at. So the whole thing is a charade. It's a big game to draw your attention from the fact that you're paying high prices at the fuel. It's a blame game and scapegoating. Look. The reason the prices of fuel are high is because 2 years ago, the U.S. was energy independent. When Biden got in a year ago, he basically made us no longer dependent again on foreign oil. Period. All right? That end of story. There's nothing to do with Russia. Inflation. There's nothing to do with Russia. You know? You know, and then he's got some deal with the Chinese, you know, so he's going easy on them. Like he wouldn't comment on that. Well, this whole supply chain thing, like what's going on out in San Diego and the docks and stuff? Why aren't they letting those, you know, unload all that stuff? I mean, basically ending up throwing away half that stuff. Right? Because it's not all hard goods or clothing and stuff in those containers, shipping containers. You know, there's things, you know, things that could be spoiled. I can hear the rain. It's like pouring. Oh, man. If that thing overflows upstairs, you know, I just want to do this show. Why does whatever happened to meteorology? Right? You know, why was it better like 30 years ago at them at least telling you they changed the weather like 3 times during the course of the day now. The forecasts. They'll say, oh, there's like a 50% chance of showers or rain or something at a time. And it'll be like a deluge or it'll be sunny. The same day. I mean, I understand forecasting is like something that, you know, there's probability involved in that. You know, there's all kinds of factors that could affect things. But I've got headphones on and I can hear, I have an air conditioner on the other side of the room and I can hear like through the headphones that it's raining hard. Because it's, you know, and it's not supposed to be. It was supposed to just be, I figured I'd get through the show. Okay. They call it cortisol, and apparently that's another thing that leads to these gallstone problems. I'll tell you, man, that's what we need to focus on. what did I say the title of the show was again? It's a new day, rain, foreign geopolitics, inflation, and I believe, and bliss. That's right. Follow your bliss. I put in the chat. And me. Yeah. Yeah, it's raining hard. So this thing here. See, this thing is like 3 floors above me. Now, I emptied it before I came down. But that filled up like in less than an hour to that point. So I don't know if the show, I guess I'll have to keep this show short because I'll have to get up there. Because if that would, like I say, that's above my bed, technically. That's the floor above my bed in the attic. It also defies logic. I mean, I just understand how, life and how screwed up things are and how people are so screwed up and how their priorities in this country and around the world are just all messed up. Right? Because, I can't stress this enough. The importance of focusing on health, our health, should be the number one thing. And that does not mean wash your hands and social distance and common sense things that if there's idiots out there that are stupid enough to not wash their hands or stay home when they're sick. Because the mask becomes almost like moot because, why would you go out and near people if you were sick? Like I say, our people, did they dumb down this civilization that much, this society, the U.S. that much, that they have to tell you that kind of stuff? If you're sick, stay at home. Right? I watched a couple of guys saying that if the media and the internet wouldn't have been around, because in 1957 there was a similar pandemic, but nobody remembers it because TV was in its infancy. Well, saying it's in its infancy is really actually overstating it. But people didn't even know about it. I asked my parents about it. They didn't remember it. But that was a big one. That killed 100,000 people or something like that. But what this guy was trying to say, it's just like this one, 99.6% of the people didn't, or 99.3% or something like that. It's 99+% of Americans did not die from this thing. So you could imagine at another time in the late 50s, 99+% of Americans didn't die with it. So, and there wasn't people talking about it day in, day out, and this, that, the other. And so people, didn't know about it. And it just passed over, and that was the end of it. So I guess your doctor knew about it, and I guess people were, of course, in those days, people had all those home remedies. I guess they were putting mustard plasters and natural nutrition. They ate better. They didn't have processed foods and stuff. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Instead of focus, I don't care if they want to tell you to wash your frickin' hands and wear the mask. Fine and dandy. If you're dumb enough to not know that yourself and have the common sense to wash your hands, yeah, okay. Then let the nanny state tell you that. But what I really expect, if they're going to march out on stage, I expect them to tell us, bring out, serious nutritionists and doctors and tell us what foods to eat and instead of these, look, more people are dying from heart disease and cancer every year than this thing did, all right, in 2 years, and it seems to be phasing itself out to nothing now. And nobody seems to be and yet I'm looking at my labels of what was in my cereal today. The amount of grams of carbs and sugar that I took in a bowl of cereal is probably 3 times my daily allowance, which means I shouldn't even eat anything else today. I decided to look. Even oatmeal. I thought oatmeal, whole oats. It says old-fashioned oats, whole oats. And I'm looking, and it's high in carbs. There's sugars in there. There's even some fat, maybe some fat. I don't know. I don't got to go in the other room and bring it in, but it's crazy. They're poisoning us, and then the life expectancy dropped 2 years. I know it's the same stuff I'm telling you every day, but I can't stress it enough because I have such low viewership. I figure people are only ever going to see one show at best out of 500 plus. It's pouring down rain. I could almost hear it drip. Yeah. So I have a drip in my front room above me. It's loud enough to go through the headphones. I don't know. I guess this was a wasted show. I don't know. I got this coffee made. I don't even know how it's dripping in the front room now. So it probably overflowed in the bedroom. I don't know. My house is ruined. Everything's screwed up. I'm going to die of it between a combination of a heart attack and a gallbladder attack, I guess. This is getting out of control. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm sorry, and Ducky. Crazy. I just want to be on the Odessa beach in the 1920s hanging out, Great solar stuff. Very strong drip up in the corner there. I know the spot too. There's nothing I can do. It's like behind a door area too. So it's like you can't get anything there. But it's just wetting the plaster ceiling, which will eventually cave in and have to be cut open. And I don't know. Things are screwed up. It's like, everything's gone wrong. I try to do good. So, those people talk about the end times and all that kind of stuff. And definitely the world is being controlled right now by evil forces. And, and I guess the fact that I've tried to come out and speak about peace, love, getting together, communications, health, and things of that nature, that these forces just, and, I got the happy-go-lucky, thing and, play these fun things,
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale.
But I've got 0 viewers and no commenters and, so that's that. I'm going to have to go deal with whatever. It's 4:41 in the morning. What the fuck am I going to do for the rest of the day? I'm drinking coffee. I'm not going to go back to sleep. This is like my second cup of coffee. It's 2.5 cups of coffee. So I'm definitely got enough caffeine in me that I'm not going to be able to fall asleep. I mean, I could have slept in another hour, and I should have, and not even done this show. Then I would have been rested to deal with this bullshit. Yeah, I'll tell you, man. Like I say,
this is insane.
All right. Well, you want to do me a favor? Help me with my roof. Buy something. Buy 100 of my fucking books and hand them out. Right? Go to Great Solar Stuff. Buy stuff and give it to your friends. There's somebody randomly watching this thing who's got some money. All right. Yeah, I need a $20,000 roof repair. I don't want the cash. Just fix it for me. Just fix the frickin' roof. All right. Have yourself a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I don't know if I'm ever going to do this again.